I'm going to take a second to talk to you about underdogs.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. Can we get a mic check? Can y'all hear me? Can we get a mic check? Can everybody hear me? We good? We good? How are y'all doing, man? So today we're gonna talk a little bit about these visits, man. You know, shout out to D-Birds on Twitter. They actually sent me, I was asking for it, and they sent me a whole list of all the visits that we've had. So I want to go over that. I want to talk about some of the guys that we've had in here, talk about some of the guys we might end up having in here, and just go over some football as usual, man. It's been a minute. Shout out to everybody already filling up the chat. We got 20 people in here. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. And shout out to today's sponsor, man, for our, our very own, let me make sure I get that in there. We got our very own cologne line now called Draft. So you can go ahead and pick that up, or you can create your own fragrance. I went ahead and left the link in the description, or in the chat room, I should say. You can go ahead and get 10% off of your order right now. So definitely go check that out. Also, big shout out to BetUS. The link is going to be in the description if you want to get your deposit matched up to 125%. We doing it all, man. We doing it all. So Frank Tank says, how did your Tyrann prediction go yesterday? Didn't go that well. But today's a new day. Today is going to be the day. I'm still talking it into existence. We are going to make it happen. But that actually brings me to a point I wanted to talk about anyways, and that is the safety position. Obviously doing this mock draft series, we've been going over possible players that the Eagles might pick up. And I look at the safety position and I wonder, is number 18 too early for the Eagles to go ahead and shore up a safety spot? I know that the Eagles don't necessarily, at least historically, show value in that position when it comes to drafting, but this could be, you never know. Things are made to be changed, right? Rules are made to be broken, all those sayings. So maybe we go after a Jalen Petrie. Maybe we go after a Daxton Hill. Maybe we go after a Jaquan Brisker. And honestly, the more that I think about it, I wouldn't even be mad. I would not be mad at that. I would be okay with the Eagles going ahead and taking a safety. I've been one to say that I think the Eagles have to go defense on in these first couple rounds, and I still believe that, and I still believe that they need to get a DB, man. You look at these cornerbacks, we'll key in on the cornerbacks for a second and get back to the safeties, but if you look at the cornerbacks, there's like five guys that I realistically think could be starters, come day one of the NFL season. Outside of that, I don't know, man. Outside of that, I really don't know, man. And then you look at the safeties. There's three. There's maybe four. It depends on how far you stretch it. I can see like Jalen Petrie. I can say, Jaquan Brisker, and I can say Kyle Hamilton. I can say Daxton Hill. So I'll say four because I always forget Kyle Hamilton because he's a pipe dream in my opinion. Look, I think the Philadelphia Eagles would be very, very smart to grab one of these guys early, because once you get into day 2, day 3, your pickings are getting very slim. So I don't know. Safety's a spot that we are not safe at. Look at that. I like that little pun right there. But safety is not a spot that I feel comfortable with for this team right now. So I don't know. We got to figure something out as far as that goes. I do want to pull up the list because that is what I wanted to talk about mainly. But I will get to all these comments as well. Keep on. Obviously, the big one today was Jameson Williams, right? Jameson Williams comes through to Philly. It seems like he was hyped. And the best thing to me, you saying Cooks from Cincinnati? Yeah, Lewis Kynes right there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's a day one starter. That's the only thing. I got to make sure I'm in frame. That's the only thing that kind of worries me about some of these guys. I don't know if they're day one starters. Nick Cross, a good development guy, but like, we're not getting a start. It's just not the position that we're getting a starting level talent We're not getting that in day 2 or 3 when it comes to the safety position, when it comes to the cornerback position. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do want to talk about some of these guys. So obviously Jordan Day, shout out to, like I said, Anthony Thibodeau. I think I saw his name in the chat. So if you're in the chat, shout out to you, man. Yeah, I seen you. Says Lewis Kine is right there too. I'd say they are 5 day 1 starters at safety. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. I don't really think Lewis Kine's a day 1. I think he's a very gadgety guy. I think that he's a guy that can play certain roles for you, but I don't know if he's a day 1 star. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But shout out to you, man. I appreciate you sending me this list. And check out their blog site, man. It's dbirds, DIBIRDS.blog. So shout out to him, man. But the first name he has on here is Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis coming to Philly is a very pigeonholed pick. To me, Jordan Davis is a great player. Jordan Davis is a very intriguing player. I feel like Jordan Davis can be all world. He can be one of those, generational type players, or he can just be a very, very good run stuffer. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. But in this NFL, does he have, the athleticism, the versatility that some guys do, like if you want to say a Devonte Wyatt, if you want to say Trayvon Walker, if you want to say Kayvon Thibodeau, Aiden, you look at some of these guys and they're just able to do way more. I know some of the guys I named were DNs, but Jordan Davis is in a weird spot because Jordan Davis has to improve. I don't think that what he is right now is a top 15 guy. I think that he's a very good player. I would be ecstatic for the Philadelphia Eagles to grab him, but I think fans are getting a little bit hype off of the numbers that we saw happen. Jordan Davis is a Ryan Kerrigan type. See, I don't know about that. I think that Jordan Davis is very pigeonholed to what he can do. I think he's just a run stopper. Like I said, I would not be mad if he came to this team. Let me say what up to everybody, man. Let me say what up to everybody, because these comments are catching my eyes. So, but what's going on, Ryan Rowe, Michael DeJean in the building? We need to get Wilson, Burke, and Stingley both first 2 picks. I wouldn't be mad at that. I don't think we need a wide receiver, but if they go with Wilson, I would love that. I know that Brandon loves Trey Burks right now, so then LB and safety the next picks after that. What's going on, Brandon? Speaking of the devil, might check 1, 2, 3. But knowing how you will get a quarterback, we really might get a quarterback. What's going on, Spot City Chop? What's going on, BMO? What's going on, Michael DeJean? I think I said that. John Doe in here trying to get rid of Hurts. I see you. What's going on, Welch? What's going on, Life's Crazy? I appreciate that super chat. Let me get to that. Who else we got in here? We got Azar in here. We got Michael DeJean. I think we got everybody, right? We good for now. We East Coast Gridiron. What's going on? Make sure I got everybody. I like to say what's up to everybody. Eagles fan, I got you on that wrench. I got you on that wrench right now. I got you on that wrench right now. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I'm trying to find you, Eagles fan. Alright, bang. You got your wrench back, bro. You got your wrench back. But alright, so where were we? Where was that? So shout out to Life's Crazy on that $2 super chat. He said Cowboys fan here. We finna sweep the NFC East. I don't know about all that. Look, if the Eagles are in a great position. If the Eagles can, sweep this draft, if the Eagles can get 4 or 5 key contributors, I'm not even saying starters, like the first 3 I think have to be starters. You have to hit on these first 3. But if you can get 1 or 2 more guys throughout this draft that are just contributing at even if it's 30, 40% of the snaps, something like that, I think the Eagles are in a good position to get better. I don't see the Eagles falling backwards. Whereas the Cowboys, I don't know, man. You guys lost basically your whole team. It feels like you guys lost a lot of players. This season is going to tell you a lot about Dak Prescott. I'm not one to really, question how good. I think Dak Prescott's a good player. But I know a lot of people have been saying, it's because of the team that he has around him, which is a fair assessment. But I think that this is going to be the year that he either proves or he's going to prove somebody right. He's either going to prove the naysayers right, or he's going to prove the guys that were having his back right. So it's going to be interesting. John Doe says, watch, if the Eagles don't try to get Kenny Pickett, it'll be a worse miss than DK or Justin Jefferson. That's Ryan Kerrigan is good at doing a lot of dirty work and not putting up numbers that stand out. Yeah, but you know, Ryan Kerrigan also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, had multiple double-digit sack seasons. I feel like towards the latter, and especially these past couple years, he definitely fell off as far as a pass rusher. But I feel like that was his calling card for a long time in his career. So I don't know. I like Jordan Davis. I do, and I'm not trying to sit here and act like I don't like Jordan Davis, but I do think that he's a little bit pigeonholed to what he can do. Now, Devonte Wyatt is a little bit different. Devonte Wyatt's the next name on his list. Devonte Wyatt is that's the guy if I had to put money on a person that the Eagles would draft, it feels like him. He just feels like the type of guy that the Philadelphia Eagles would draft. And it's just, he can move to the end. Obviously, he played a lot on the inside. He can move to the outside. He can do a little bit of everything. He gives me vibes of like what they want Milton Williams to one day be. I think that Devonte Wyatt is there. And I don't think that Devonte Wyatt's learning curve is as high or as big as it will be for Jordan Davis. I feel like Jordan Davis still has to learn some stuff. Whereas Devonte Wyatt, he's kind of a package already. This is kind of what you're going to get. So it's a two-way street with that, because Devonte Wyatt kind of is what he is, so maybe the ceiling's not as high as a Jordan Davis. But I like what Devonte Wyatt is, and I just feel like he's a Philly-type guy. I really do. I feel like he's a Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie. You know, I don't know Tracy Rocker like that, but if he follows suit, then he's probably his type of guy as well. So I just feel like this is our type of pick. We'll see, though. We'll see. Brother, you miss me. Red shirt's no longer united. I got to go grab my red shirt, but yeah, I haven't worn my red shirt in a minute. It's funny. I got to do that. He said, man, do us a solid. We'll swap picks with us throwing some fives. Now, we good, bro. We good. Y'all can stay where y'all at. 24 is a good spot for y'all. 24 is a good spot for y'all. If I did you, you still there. Wyatt only had 5 sacks in 4 years. He did, but I just feel like he's more of a, like when you watch him on the tape, he just seems like he's more of a solidified product. Also, like, you got to look at this Georgia team. There was a lot of talent on this team. Trayvon Walker doesn't have catching numbers. Jordan Davis obviously doesn't have a lot of sacks either. It was just a crazy team. That team was ridiculous. Devonte Wyatt, to me, just has more of a bag as a pass rusher and a little bit more versatility than a Jordan Davis has. So I'm not sitting here saying that if we draft Jordan Davis, we missed out on Devonte Wyatt. I can't believe it. It just feels like, watching so many Eagles draft, I feel like Devonte Wyatt's their type of guy. I could be wrong, though. I could 110% be wrong. Why everyone's saying next year QB draft class is better, the only QB in that. It's kind of true, John. I think that people, because last year we were hearing it too. Last year people kind of got on this isn't a good draft class early, but we hear every year like, oh, next year this guy is supposed to come out. This guy, like this year was supposed to be Spencer Rattler. It was supposed to be, I guess Sam Howell's up there, right? But it was supposed to be a whole bunch of different names that we just aren't seeing. They just didn't play that well last year, so it'll be interesting. I think that you're going to find a very good quarterback in this draft. Will you find the next Joe Namath or Joe Montana? I don't think Joe Namath was all that good of a quarterback. That's another story. But either way, you're not going to find another, Joe Montana maybe, but I think you're going to be able to find a solid franchise quarterback. So I don't think that this QB class is as bad as people are saying, but it is what it is. Traylon Burks is the wide receiver we need. Brandon really want him. LB showed a picture of Sauce and Pickens together, and they were shopping. Yeah, that's why I named it. I was like, shopping sprees and draft visits. Yeah, so George Pickens, I believe it was solid. It was verified that he was there for a meeting. Look, I think, and obviously Jameson Williams just went today. I feel like these guys want to play with Devonta Smith. I don't think, there's no knock on Jalen Hurts, but ain't nobody throwing up pictures of Jalen Hurts saying, oh, this dude almost won the Heisman. Everybody's going crazy over Devonta Smith. I think that he's going to be the guy that brings people in for us. Rocker is trash. I keep trying to tell Gates that he loves that, but it's a little bit too early for me to really make a decision on Tracy Rocker, simply because like there was 2 different halves of the season. Like towards the end of the year, I started seeing a lot more development, especially on that defensive line. So it's hard for me to just say he's trash, but he definitely had an up and down season. What's going on, AK Eagles? We going safety and linebacker in the second round, possibly, maybe. We only got one pick in the second, so I mean, if we get another second, that would be interesting. Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray are both 5'10". What does height matter? What are you talking about? As far Bryce is 5'11", better off with Hurts. If he could play ball, he could play ball. That's all that really matters, to be honest. I mean, it is what it is. We want a guy that has an arm that can consistently make plays. What's going on, Philly Ace? He said draft Davis and Wyatt in the first, second round linebacker or wide receiver. That would be, if they did that, I would be kind of upset. If we shot both of our shots at defensive line, I would be kind of upset. If I'm being 100% honest. What if we moved up to get Sauce and moved back in the first to get Pickens? How would you feel about that? How would I feel about that? That's a good question. That's a very good question. How would I feel about that? I'm not sure. I don't think I'd be that upset if I'm being 100%. I don't think I'd be that mad. I think, look, the Eagles, if you, and I've said this last year, I'll say this again, man. If you see a guy that you feel is better, head and shoulders better than Jalen Hurts, then you got to take that. You got to make that move. But I don't know if I see it. So, I mean, me personally, I probably wouldn't do that. I would love to get Sauce. It's the second part of that statement. You know, it depends on what we're getting also. Don't get me wrong. Jameson over here posting Devonte. Yeah, he was hyped to come chill with Devonte. Would you take a chance on Jameson? What's going on, Scoob-Doo? I would take a chance if you're trying to get the best wide receiver. It really depends on how everything falls. You know, he would be your number one guy had he not gotten injured, right? So same can kind of be said about a George Pickens. George Pickens might have been in that top 3, top 4 conversation as far as wide receivers go had he not gotten injured. So maybe he's the better risk to take. What would it take to move up for Sauce? It depends on how far, right? Last year we went from 12 to 10 for a 3rd round pick. So I think the highest you'd see us move is like around 10, 11, 12. And it would probably take like a 3rd round, maybe a 5th included in that, but it wouldn't take that much. Obviously, you would have to give your 1st round pick as well, but it wouldn't really take that much. I think it's very doable, especially in this draft class where there's a lot of good players in this draft class. I don't think that is necessarily just one great, or 5, 6 great players. I think there's a lot of very good players in this draft class. So I would say it probably takes something around like a 3rd and a 5th at most. But then again, I don't think we're going to move up that high. So it really depends on how high you're trying to get. That's really what it depends on. But let's get back to this list. Now, this was a name that I thought was very, very intriguing. I'll say that. It was very intriguing. A 5'9" cornerback, Marcus Jones from Houston. So Marcus Jones, like I said, he is very short. I think he's 5'9" or 5'8", something like that, out of Houston. Obviously not the biggest school in the world, but he was a playmaker. He was a playmaker on special teams and on defense. He had a bevy of interceptions, took a couple to the house, I believe, took a couple punt returns to the house, I believe. So the kid, he makes plays. He's definitely a playmaker. It'll be interesting to see if he's there day, 2 late maybe, or day 3 early on, and the Eagles take a shot on him. At that size, I understand. Size isn't everything. Don't get me wrong. The Eagles had Brandon Boykins, who was like 5'8" as well. He was short as heck. He went crazy one year in the NFL and then kind of fizzled out. So I don't want to say that this kid is, not going to be anything just because of his size, but the size definitely worries me. The size definitely worries me. Especially when you have so many cornerbacks that fit the mold of what you want. Marcus Jones would be a Devin Hester type for the Eagles. That's what it feels like, almost like a DeAnthony Thomas. Like, I feel like they still feel like they missed out on DeAnthony Thomas, who I believe came back to the NFL this year, if I'm not mistaken, because he took last year off. And then we get into some, linemen. We got the offensive lineman from Tulsa, Tyler Smith. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know a lot about him. But I will say this much. If he is going to be one of our 1st round picks, I'm going to be highly pissed off, to be 100% honest. I just don't see the need. I don't see if we grab a tackle, if we grab a guard, I'm going to be a little bit upset. If I'm being like, Tyler Lindenbaum just doesn't make sense to me. It'll be cool, I guess. It'll be like, but I'd rather get a defensive lineman that's going to at least have rotational snaps. You don't rotate your offensive line. So I'm not one to go for an offensive lineman. I'm just all right. I'm good on it. Like, you know, if we do, we do, but not in the first. Not in the first. I'm not really sure where it's at. He was our top 30 visit. So apparently they're thinking first round. I don't think he's I'm not going offensive lineman in first round. I just can't do it. I don't really want to go off wide receiver in the first round, but you know, it is what it is. If they do, they do. And then we met up with Tyrann from Oklahoma. This kid had a great Senior Bowl. You know, he had a great Senior Bowl. Obviously has crazy size and athleticism. Would be interesting. He would be an interesting pickup in the first round. I think he's more of a second, a day 2 guy. It'll be interesting to see if they went with somebody like him. He's still got a lot of work, you know, to be done. I like the kid though. I really do. But like I said, I'm thinking more day 2-ish. Now this is another guy that I think that if he falls, the Eagles could definitely be in on him. Oh, my line went off. But Thibodeau. They met up with Thibodeau. Now, if Thibodeau actually drops like out of the top 10, I think that this is a very good possibility. But I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does, I think they would be all over this. And I think that would be very smart of the Philadelphia Eagles to be all over it. This is why you want quarterbacks to go ahead. Not all top 30 visits are first rounders. No, that's a fact. I just feel like if you're going to waste your top 30 visit on a guy, they might as well be a first rounder in your eyes. But no, you're definitely right. But Thibodeau, if he drops out of the top 10, that'll be amazing. This is why we want quarterbacks to go in this draft. That's why, you know, as Eagles fans, we should be hoping that teams start to fall in. If you're in a chat room and they're like, these quarterbacks are trash, you know, a different chat room for different teams, and they're sitting here, oh, these quarterbacks are trash, talk them out of it. Because we need every team to go ahead and grab a quarterback, because that's what we don't need in our eyes as Eagles fans. Obviously, there's some, you know, John Doe wants a quarterback in here, but to me, if a bunch of quarterbacks go off the board early, it puts the Eagles in a great position, because you're going to have at least 3 or 4 guys that fall to you that probably shouldn't have. So that'll be very interesting. Now, talking about quarterbacks, obviously Matt Corral did come. I thought that there was more visits. I thought that they had, like, obviously they had dinner with Kenny Pickett. I don't know if that counts as a visit. I'm not really sure. Like, I don't know if that's a visit. Let me look down this list before I say that, because I heard that he was the only quarterback that had an official visit. Yeah, so apparently we take people out to dinner for no reason. They should just take me out to dinner. If we're just giving out dinners, just take me out to dinner. But Matt Corral, you know, depending on who you ask, he's one of, if not the best quarterback in this draft. So this makes a lot of sense. I mean, if he does fall to 15, if he does fall to 18 even, are the Eagles going to take a shot? I mean, is he better than Jalen Hurts? He probably at the very least as a passer, right? As a thrower of the football, he's probably better than Jalen Hurts right now. So, I mean, if he falls, that'll be interesting. I'm not going to lie. You guys know I love to play devil's advocate. You guys know I like to get people riled up. So if we do get a quarterback, I'll be pissed off as an Eagles fan. But as a guy that has to come on here and talk to you guys for an hour, it will be interesting. It will be very interesting to see how you guys react to that, because I know you will not be happy. I know I won't be, but it is what it is. And then this one will get Cowboys fans a little bit upset, because I know this is a guy they're eyeing. Kenyan Green, the offensive lineman, again from Texas A&M. Now, like I said, I don't really want offensive linemen in this draft, and I don't really want, you know, like if it's a guard, it makes a little bit more sense to me. Like a Kenyan Green makes a little bit more sense to me. I guess he can push him into center next year. You can start him right off the bat at left guard if you want to, or right guard, however you figure out what you're going to do with Landon Dickerson. But he can do a little bit of everything. So this makes sense. Polly says, rumor has it, Mateo signed Eagles $45 million, 3 years. I don't think that's true. We'll see. I'm waiting until somebody that, because man, it's crazy. These YouTubers nowadays be putting out fake ass tweets, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really respect it. But hey, get it how you live, bro. Get it how you live. Oh, I don't want him to my ass off all that money, if that's true. That's not that much money, man. That's really not that. Let's sit on that for a second. if we pay him $11 to $13 million a year for 3 years, I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. I am cool with that. There's been a lot of rumors, Polly. I do think that the Eagles are very, I don't want to say close because then people won't quote that, but I do think that the Eagles are very high in contention to get him. I think that it's a possibility. And I would love Tyrann Mathieu on this team because that's a position of need. No matter how you want to spin it, you need yourself a safety, and he's one of the premier guys. So it is what it is. The next guy that we saw was Jesse Luketa out of Penn State. This guy's actually interesting. A lot of people are upping him a lot. I actually want to see what my man's wrote about him. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Shout out to D Birds. He broke down these guys pretty well as well. But no, yeah, I'm a Penn State fan. So seeing Jesse Luketa kind of rocket up boards, I feel like he's very, very one-dimensional. Not very, very, but he's very one-dimensional in the fact that I feel like he's really just a pass rusher. I don't really see the pass coverage ability yet. Maybe he has it. A lot of people were saying the same thing about Micah Parsons. Obviously, I'm not comparing him to Micah Parsons. And they had a lot of different players that were able to do a lot of different things. So maybe that was it was just out of need. They didn't have to ask him to do stuff like that. But I love Jesse Luketa. I'm thinking he's like a day 3 guy, if I'm being 100% honest. If we can get him in the 5th, 6th round, I would be cool with that. I would be happy with that. And then we brought in Andrew Booth Jr. I'd be cool with this. Andrew Booth, look, a lot of people are very high on, the top 2 guys. A lot of people are very high on Stingley, high on Gardner. Me personally, I think that there's like 4 or 5 very good cornerbacks, and then after that, it really peters off. The 5 guys I'm looking at are Andrew Booth, are Ahmad Gardner. So Andrew Booth, Ahmad Gardner, Derek Stingley, Kyer Elam, and I'm blanking on the last name, and Trent McDuffie. Those are my 5. Those are the 5 guys I have a first round grade on. Maybe you can, push some guys up. I know a lot of people like Kobe Bryant, Martin Emerson is coming in. He's got the size. There's some other guys. I just don't think any of those guys are like day 1 starters. I'm not signing Badger for 4 years. I probably would. Especially knowing how we structure our contracts. It'll probably be more like a 2-year, 3-year deal, and then we could just cut them for minimal, damage. I probably would do it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would probably do it. And we need talent. We need talent. A lot of Eagles fans say to me, and I said this on my Twitter, Eagles fans always saying, oh, why don't we just draft a young guy? It sounds good. We've tried that. We've tried that a lot. Especially at the safety position. Name the last safety we've drafted that's been good. Don't worry. I'll wait. Like, realistically, name the last guy that's actually been good for us. I can't think of one. So to me, it's like you have to. It's been proven for me. It's been proven. Even guys that you have drafted that have been good outside of Philadelphia, they've been good outside of Philadelphia. So it's like we just don't know what we're doing at the safety position. We gotta put money into it. There's just some positions I feel like you gotta put money into, and right now it seems like safety and cornerback are those spots. So I would not be mad at it at all. I would not be mad at all. McDuffie hasn't guarded any real talent. He went against scrubs. He gonna get worked at the pro level. I don't know if he's gonna get worked. I'd say he's like my 5th guy that I think can be a starter. But I also do Dawkins Lewis. Yeah, and how long ago was that? How long ago was that? But either way, what was I gonna say? With what's his name? With Trent McDuffie. I think that he's going to be more of like a slot guy, and that's why I kind of put him at number 5, but I think he'll be a very good slot player for you day 1. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he can kick outside and prove me wrong, but it's not that he's short. I just feel like he's small. He's compact. He doesn't have those lanky arms. So for me, he's probably the worst of the best, but that's not, I don't think that's a knock. I think that Derek Stingley, I think that Kyer Elam, I think that Ahmad Gardner, I think those 3 are going to be real legit talents in the NFL. I think that Booth has a very good shot of being one as well. And I think Trent McDuffie has a good shot as being one as well. But We'll see what happens. Tyrann is short too, but Tyrann has been in the NFL for a long time. And I'm not saying that Trent McDuffie can't be good in the NFL. Like I said, that's the only thing that I get a little bit worried about, and that's why I put him as the best, or the worst of the best, I should say. Tyrann probably be a great talent and get enough help. Tyrann would improve this team like that. Even if it's just a veteran presence. There's no way that you're telling me he's not at least a veteran presence. What was Tyrann's injury last year? I'm not sure. I'm hoping we can steal Elam in the second. We might be able to. People are really down on him for some reason. Someone needs to draft other than Howie. Yeah, I mean, look, I would love for that to happen, but we all know that's not happening. We all know Howie's going to have his hand all in this draft. What's the contract I would give him? What contract I would give Tyrann Mathieu? If I could get away with like a 3-year, 36, 37 mil, maybe like 28 of it guaranteed, something like that, I would be cool with that. Pay that man. I do not care. If he's getting an annual salary of like 10 to 12, I think it's a steal. I'll give Tyrann a year. If he would take it, I mean, yeah, cool. If he would take it, but what does that do? That puts a Band-Aid on it for 1 year? I don't know. Anthony Harris is the vet presence. He was top-ranked safety before last year. Come on, man. Top-ranked safeties don't get 1 year, $5 million contracts. He was what we paid for. Anthony Harris is not no vet presence on this team, man. I'm sorry. No disrespect to him. And he's only like 26. Isn't Anthony Harris like 26, 27? And then going down the list more, what's going on to King? I think some people came in. I didn't even say hi. What's going on, John Jones? Isaiah Pola Moa, safety at USC. Troy Kinfolk, check him out. Didn't they have a safety last year that went? That was pretty cool. That had a crazy name. It was like Halapua Vata. Whatever. No, that was our big V. What's going on, Spoken Words? Let me make sure everybody say. I gotta make sure I say hi to everybody. My audio's really low. How's that better? Is that better? It's because I'm kind of far from my microphone too. I gotta get one of those boom arms. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if that's better. What's going on, Eagles Relis? Or I would want Sauce Gardner. I would love Sauce Gardner, but you're gonna have to trade up. He was coming off a serious injury. That's why he only got that deal. Nah, bro, he was not that good for the Vikings had a terrible defense, and he was a part of that. Eric Wilson was highly rated before he came here too. He was trash too. Nah, man, B-Mo, you my guy, but Anthony Harris ain't it for me. Anthony Harris definitely is not it for me. He's a good player. He's a decent player, but he's not the guy we need. We need somebody like a Tyrann Mathieu to come in here and really show what that position is supposed to do. And then obviously George Pickens got his visit. D'Angelo Malone is a guy that I like a lot. He's probably like a day 3 guy. He's somebody I like a lot. Arnold DeBickety, another Penn State guy that I think would do wonders for this team's defensive line. And then Jameson Williams. So there's a lot, man. Did I hear anything about Kayvon Thibodeau? As far as what? We did have a visit with him. Look, I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau is going to drop as far as people are trying to make it out to seem. I know that Trayvon Walker is moving up on people's boards, and that's cool. I'm kind of surprised by that. I think Trayvon Walker is more of a project than the other two aforementioned defensive ends, with the Aiden Hutchinson and the Kayvon Thibodeau. Trayvon Walker's a lot of potential, in my opinion, and a lot of versatility. Don't get me wrong, but I get nervous with players like that, especially when you're talking top 10, top 5 players. Like, I get a little bit nervous. Who have we had at safety to get 6 interceptions in last few seasons? Harris done it. Man, I don't know, man. I can't watch the game and say that Harris is the answer. I just can't. I can't look at the game and say that Harris is the answer. Now y'all got me watching to see, make sure ain't no trades happen. Not no trades, but Tyrann Mathieu. He said thank God this morning, so hopefully he part of the Eagles. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. The Eagles just posted "Go Birds." Maybe that's, them saying that they're happy they got Tyrann. I just want this to be over. I just want to, what if he doesn't sign somewhere? What if he just calls it quits? I doubt that would happen. Would you still go after linebacker even though we got 2 linebackers? Yes, I definitely would. I wouldn't mind getting Trent McDuffie at pick 18 or 15. I would. It depends on how it falls. It really depends on how it falls. Not saying Harris is the answer, just saying he is a good player. I respect that. You're not wrong. With McLeod and Indy, we still need a safety. I know that he was older. I probably would have kept McLeod over Anthony Harris if I'm being 100% honest. That might be an unpopular opinion, but yeah. I think that McLeod sneakily had a very good past 2 seasons. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 30 people in here. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We got 28 likes. Let's get to 30. Oh, y'all nice today. Y'all like me today. I'm just trying to make sure we ain't got no... Man, all I want to see is Philadelphia Eagles sign Tyrann Mathieu. That's all I want right now. Oh, man. Leo Chanel is an upgrade at middle linebacker over TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards is a good player. I would go after Dean Lloyd or Devin Lloyd or... Oh, Dean Lloyd or Harris, Christian Harris. Yeah, I think there's some good linebackers. I think that even... I think that I, earlier on in this draft process, was really, really high on getting a linebacker in the first round. I would still be all for it. I would still be up for it, but I'm not as... I don't think that it's as important anymore. I think that now you can probably get a guy in the second, third round that can be a starter for you. It's really deep at that linebacking position. How much is that Tyrann asking for? That's a great question. That's a great question because Tyrann said he would take a cheaper contract. He said he would take a Justin Reed type contract to stay with the Chiefs. I don't know if he's going to keep that energy and stay with the Eagles for a cheap contract. But I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm very surprised that he's taking this long. Linebacker Chad Muma and punter Matt Ariza should be Eagles after this draft. I would love Chad Muma. I like Muma a lot. I don't know, man. I can't say with clear conscience that the Eagles should draft a punter. I've had Aaron Sippas on here, man, and I feel like he can turn it around. So I'm riding the Sippas train till he's gone. It is what it is. I heard $13 million a year is what he wanted. 3 years, $39 million. I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. McLeod was just too much of a locker room guy. Maybe question defensive coordinators, Gannon, defensive, whatever. Gannon says still too much, like Fletcher Cox has done publicly. You need those type of guys, though. I think that Fletcher Cox publicly, questioning the I don't even think he questioned it. I think he just straight up said he didn't fit it. I don't even think that's questioning it. I think you need guys like that. You need people that are going to say, listen, this doesn't bring my strengths out. I listen to, Barrett Brooks a lot. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Dan Cilio, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I listen to Barrett Brooks a lot, and he was talking about when he used to play and how some coaches just didn't fit what he liked to do because he just liked to go out there and play football. And I feel like that's what, Fletcher Cox is. He's the type of guy that's like, you don't have to scheme him into being, free. Just let him go out there and play some football. Like, worry about everything else and let him do what he does and work around that. So I feel like when he did say something, it finally kind of sparked the, all right, we need to change something up on the defense. And so hopefully that's what happens. Unfortunately, I think he's going to the Saints. Who's that? Tyrann. You think Tyrann will go to the Saints? That's his hometown. I think if he was going to go to the Saints, he would have already. Dan Cilio. Yeah, Dan Cilio will just be lying, man. Dan Cilio started that trend of just lying for no reason. Cause he had all y'all believing that Jalen, yes, some of y'all probably still believe it, that Jalen Hurts was out there working with Tom Brady and hanging out with Tom Brady. Excuse my language. That man was not, nobody confirmed that. Nobody. They're in the same state. So everybody was like, oh, they must be working out together. I don't know. I don't really, but anyways. What's the most you think the Eagles can get for Jalen Reagor in a trade, a 4th round pick? If we get a 4th round pick for Jalen Reagor, man, I will literally buy Howie Roseman a birthday cake. Honestly, I don't think you're getting much. I think you're getting probably some, you know, not compensatory. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? That it's, you know, it basically is going to be dependent on what happens with him. Like if he, it's going to be like one of those, you know, a 6th that can be, or a 7th that can become a 6th round pick if he does X, Y, and Z. I think that's really what you're looking at. If you can get a 5th or a 4th, God bless you, Howie Roseman. God bless you. Yeah, I really did. I did have to be more. I did have to. There's not many people that I don't even want to say like, because that's disrespectful. I don't even know the person to disrespect, to like or dislike him. But there's not many people in this entertainment and in this reporting world that I just don't really respect their takes, and unfortunately he's one of them. But conditional pick, thank you. I have the best chat room in the world. That's what I got. I have the best chat in the room. Everybody saying it. Conditional. I know I'm stupid, y'all. Mateo just trying to get more money out of Howie, but you know Howie got to feel like he got over somehow. I agree, Ernest. That's a very good take. I agree. I wish Barrett Brooks was that good. Compensatory pick. The Peter Schrager mock draft is so trash, and it would be the Eagles fans' bad luck knowing Howie would be. Who did he take? Who did he take? Is that new? When did that come out? I'll go check that out real quick. You can get my on the spot reaction to it. Was it 1.0? Was it 1.0 you was talking about, Nathaniel? Drake London. Trent, yeah, nah. If it's 1.0, I agree with you. That's trash. I don't want Drake London and Drake. Let me see who went before. Because I can't talk too much junk if somebody went. See, Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson went after Drake London. They got me messed up, man. For that, take Burks. Devin Lloyd went number 13. And if you guys did watch our mock draft, if you watched our mock draft series, we had Fran Duffy on, and he picked for the Houston Texans, and he took Devin Lloyd. Derek Stingley went to. So this is kind of close to what the Eagles, or to what ours is, except for Jameson Williams going number 10. Kenny Pickett, Ike Ekwonu going, okay. Yeah, nah. If it was me, I would have took. If you're gonna take a wide receiver, I like Garrett Wilson. I like Olave over Drake London. If you're gonna take a cornerback at this point where he was, I would have took damn near anybody over that. He has Quay Walker going before Nakobe Dean. And Kyler Gordon, Travis Jones in the first round. Shout out to Travis Jones. I hope he does go first round. George Karlaftis goes to 31. This would be a crazy draft if that's what happened. Jordan Davis going to Baltimore at 14. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Do not overpay Mateo. Have a walk away. Honestly, we are going to be in good terms when it comes to capping in the next couple years. After this year, I think that a lot of our dead money frees up. We don't have a lot of money tied to any, individual players. I don't think that we have to worry about overpaying right now. We're going to have a lot of money coming up soon. We don't have a core of players. Dean's under 6 feet. Isn't he like 6 feet even? I don't really think that matters in my opinion. I think that he's going to be a dog. And Quay Walker going, but Quay Walker's not that much taller than him. How tall is Quay Walker? Let me look up how tall Quay Walker is. I think Quay Walker's like 6'1". How tall is Quay Walker? Oh damn, he's 6'4". I'm off. I'm way off. Don't listen to me, y'all. Don't listen to me. I don't know who I was thinking about. I thought he was way shorter. He's 6'4". I don't know if I'm taking Quay Walker over Nakobe Dean. I think Nakobe Dean is just going to be something different. I think he's just so athletic, man. There's so much you could do with him. I really don't know. Damn, Dean 5'11". Let me get you I don't like seeing people without wrenches. Unless you Frank Tank, you gotta have a wrench when you in my chat, man. Georgia gonna have like 6 to 8 first rounders this year. Was Dean a product of great D-line of what? That's I've said that before, and that's why I say that I like Devin Lloyd over Nakobe Dean. I think that Nakobe Dean's going to be very good, but that's a very good point, man. He dealt with a lot of clean, alleys to the quarterback, clean alleys to the running back. That defensive line really made stuff a lot easier for those linebackers. Good thing about this draft is it's deep at what we need. It's hard for Howie to mess up. That's a very true statement. That's how I feel about it as well. As long as we don't overdraft, we don't try to get too pretty, we don't try to get too cute with what we do at the draft, which it is his MO to do that, right? As long as we don't do that, we should be straight. But we'll see. I don't know. This is the one draft. Usually I'll say we can't go need over, fit or need over best player available. But I think this is one of those drafts you can look at both kind of equally and get away with it. So I want to see the Eagles do well in this draft. I'm happy about the guys that we're bringing in. There's nobody that's really shocking me as of yet. Obviously, the quarterback is probably going to be the most point of contention. To me, I'm more surprised that we don't have more quarterbacks coming into Philadelphia for visits. But it is what it is. Lloyd is better in coverage. He definitely is. If it's me, I'm drafting 15 Jameson Williams, 18 Devin Lloyd. I respect that. We're going to do it. We're actually picking the number 18 pick pretty soon, so it should be interesting. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do that. Probably just going to get everybody to send me in videos. I do things like so differently. I just try to change it up so much. And sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a headache because, you got to throw it all together. Nakobe is what you call a game tape player. All that combine and measurables go out the window. Bobby Wagner type to me. Eagles have the D-line to fit him so he can be maximized at linebacker. Possibly, yeah, we got some. I think that you need guys that are going to eat up space, and do we have that? We do to a certain extent, but I think that Javon Hargrave is more of a playmaker at that defensive tackle spot. Fletcher Cox at this age is probably now more of a space filler, a block eater, right? Or whatever you want to call it. Marlon Talaba, I can't say his last name. I'm not even going to disrespect him like that and try. But Marlon, that we drafted last year from USC, I believe he came from. He's kind of a space eater, so maybe he sees more, snaps if we get a Nakobe Dean type. But I agree with you, Nathaniel. I think that you can't just look at his size and speed and his measurables and be like, I think he's a guy that can do a lot. I think he's just his game speed is a lot different. Same thing that you can say with a Treylon Burks. There's just some guys that their game speed's different. We need defensive tackle bad. Who's going to replace Fletcher Cox? Yeah, obviously, right now the heir apparent would be a Javon Hargrave, right? And then if you can get a Travis Jones in the second, I think that would be a huge pickup. I love Travis Jones. If you can get Jordan Davis, obviously that's dope. If you can get Devonte Wyatt, obviously that's dope. Trying to think of some other defensive. Neil Farrell makes some sense towards the end of the draft. PJ Mustipher from the Penn State. He's kind of a space eater. He would be an interesting pickup. Trying to think of defensive tackles. I'm sure there's some I'm forgetting. Yeah, Travis Jones in the second would be dope. And I'm from Connecticut. So shout out to Travis Jones, man. If you're watching this, come on the show, bro. Show some 860 love. I know he's from 203, but show some love, man. Should we take Devonte Wyatt or Matthew Butler since both are space eaters and can rush the quarterback? I would say Devonte Wyatt because I don't know much about Matthew Butler. So I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm going to be 10,000% truthful with you, Uptown Sports. I don't know enough about Matthew Butler to really compare him to Devonte Wyatt, who I have been watching Devonte Wyatt for a while. So, for me, I would have to say Devonte Wyatt. But I would love to hear your opinion on it because, like I said, I don't know too much about him. Takeem, I think you told me that you're from Middletown. Yeah, I used to hang out in Middletown a lot. I used to run with this dude, Scandal. Did you see Adam Schefter's last tweet? Nah. But yeah, I used to run with these dudes called RTB out there when I used to do music and stuff. Let me go look at Adam Schefter's most recent tweet. Adam Schefter is wilding. Oh, that's not good. So a congressional committee has told the Federal Trade Commission it has evidence that Washington Commanders engaged in unlawful financial conduct, impacting visiting teams and season ticket holders. Well then, why? He's stupid, man. He's stupid, man. I live in Hamden, but I be in Meriden too. Yeah, I used to live in New Britain and Hartford, West Hartford. I lived everywhere out there, man. I used to live everywhere out there. I lived in Rocky Hill for like a year when I was feeling rich. I like Jones, so you think we're going to play a 3-4 then? Sounds right with the moves we made on defense. I think that, and I think that Gannon said it too, right? I think we want to be multiple. I think we want to be very versatile in what we can do. So you want to get guys that are versatile in what they can do. You look at the third-round pick last year. You look at Milton Williams. He's very versatile in what he can do. My girlfriend lives in Hartford. Hartford, man. Hartford is sad. I'm going to say this just because there's somebody from Connecticut on here. But people think that Connecticut... And Travis Jones is from, like... I want to say... I think he's from, like, a pretty tough... I know he went to school in New Haven. But I think he's from, like, Bridgeport or something like that. I don't think he's, like... Anyways, a lot of people sleep on Connecticut and think that it's all, like, rich people out there. Connecticut ain't no joke, man. Connecticut is not no joke. He is from New Haven, yeah. Travis Jones... New Haven ain't no joke, man. New Haven ain't no joke. People think that Connecticut's all, rainbows and butterflies, man. Nah, man. My ex-wife family got family from Meriden, too cold for me. Yeah, I live in Tampa now, right? I live in Tampa now. And me and my girl were talking about, because the main overall goal is for me to, I want to work with the Philadelphia Eagles in some capacity for a couple years, and then kind of just go back to this. But anyways, so we were talking about if I ever did actually get offered a job by the Eagles, if I would move back up north, and I probably would, but it is very cold. It is very, very cold. What's going on, Eagle Slayer? What's going on? I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. I got to retweet that because that's crazy. So what's going to happen to the Washington Commanders? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 40 people in here. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. Check out the link in the chat, man. If you're trying to get yourself some draft, you know what I'm saying? Even you can feel like a #1 draft pick. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a good saying for it, but that's like, shout out to Scentcraft for making me my own cologne. You can make your own cologne, or you could purchase mine at 10% off. The link is in the chat, man. This is probably one of the, if I don't sell one, it is cool because this is probably the coolest sponsorship that I've had. So New Haven is hard as hell, believe it. Yeah, it's facts. New Haven ain't no joke, man. New Haven ain't no joke. Waterbury ain't no joke. Bridgeport ain't no joke. Hartford is no joke. So I love Connecticut to a certain extent, but it definitely gets a bad rep. We get people be like, wait, you're from Connecticut? Oh, you must be rich. Like, nah, that's not how it works, bro. That's not how it works. We're the richest per capita. There's a big difference. There's a big difference in that statement. But I am about to get out of here, man. I am about to get out of here. New Heaven. I like that actually. But no, I am about to get out of here. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Probably going live tomorrow. Not probably. I'm definitely gonna be going live again tomorrow. Maybe tonight at some point. We're gonna be doing the mock draft pretty soon, and I got a couple special guests to do the Eagles pick with me. You already know that. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for just chopping it up with me. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace!
Everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird game nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do 'em in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.